I was doing an interview with Laura Ingraham, and she was talking about vaccines or something and all the number of vaccines that were being required. And I started looking at the various schedules, and I thought, why are we mandating hepatitis B the moment a child's come through the birth canal? I'm like, how much hepatitis? I started really researching. I went down the rabbit hole because I was involved in hepatitis B and hepatitis C, both treatment and vaccine therapy, way back 40 years ago. And we didn't imagine that people would be mandated to take this thing. We actually were more concerned about China, where there was mother-to-child transmission of hepatitis B. And, of course, that can happen if the mother has hepatitis B. I looked at the data. There's like 1,200 cases a year of hepatitis B in this country, essentially all in IV drug users. You don't think we're going to check the hepatitis B antibodies and antigens on a mother who has a history of IV drug use? You don't think we're going to do that? And then we would give that baby the hepatitis B vaccine, and it's totally appropriate. Could save that baby's life. But the World Health Organization mandated that all babies receive the hepatitis B vaccine, and there is absolutely no reason for that. I was outraged when I discovered that. And I was involved in the research to get this thing going.
I had no idea that you were involved in the research with the Hep B vaccine. That's very interesting. Yeah. I would say part of the reason I'm on the path that I'm on is because of that vaccine. And I'll tell you why. Because in 2016, I had my first child. I had to have an emergency C-section. And, that's after you labor, you're exhausted. They take you in for an emergency C-section at night. In the middle of the night, I was asleep for the little bit of amount of sleep I could get. They come into the room to take my child in the middle of the night to take him to get a Hep B vaccine. And my husband said, excuse me, wait, what? You're taking him to get a Hep B? Isn't that for a sexually transmitted disease? They said, oh, well, it's standard. We do it in the first 24 to 48 hours of life. And they give the usual spiel about this is what is recommended. It's absolutely normal. My husband did not buy it. And he basically said, what you say on Twitter, Naomi, is that you're not a prostitute. He's not a sex worker. He's just born. He's not an IV drug user. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he was only about 6 hours old. And my husband, when I woke up, he was sitting there staring at my child like this. They were staring at each other. And he had refused to put him down because he was so afraid they would come and take him. And he was on his phone scrolling, doing vaccine research right then. And so that started us on the path to researching vaccines, what's in them, why they're mandated, going back to the liability protections that were offered to them. I would go into the pediatrician's office and say, hey, can I see the literature? Can I see what's in this? And can I choose the brand at least? We were treated like scum, Dr. Drew. And I know Naomi and I have talked about this a little bit, and that really set me on the path of descent. I think that carried over into, being a journalist that covered politics, but then it definitely prepared me for what we saw that we didn't know what was coming. I never anticipated that I would be covering a COVID-19 pandemic in which they were going to unleash this EUA gene therapy on everyone and expect us to comply, and that no one around me would question it. That started with that Hep B vaccine.